I just don't think a visit from a British Prime Minister in the current context of what's going on could have got any better. Let's just pause and reflect where we were this time last week.
Let's talk a little bit about the serious stuff and what has happened over the last couple of days. The Starmer meeting in Washington with Trump, do you think it achieved anything?
Did you catch Sadiq Khan's extraordinary diplomatic gymnastics on Today? The man who once called Trump a global threat and compared him to 20th century fascists is now offering to play tour guide for the former president's London visit. Watch as we dissect Khan's carefully crafted response.
A real concern, the USA is considering leaving NATO. A real concern that President Trump thinks that President Zelensky is a dictator. A real concern about trade wars and about tariffs. And by the way, every day's a different day with Donald Trump in the White House. A real concern that the USA is vacating the pitch in Europe.
That reveals more about his political priorities than he intended. Notice what's missing from his suggested Trump itinerary. Traditional British landmarks and heritage sites that once defined London's identity. This isn't just about Trump, it's about Khan's vision for London that many feel is leaving traditional Britons behind. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Now, remember when London's Mayor Sadiq Khan was calling Trump a fascist and far-right with all the moral certainty of a crusading knight? Fast forward to today's interview, and suddenly he's offering to take the former president for a curry on Brick Lane. Talk about political whiplash. But what's really going on behind Khan's awkward verbal gymnastics? The Khan-Trump feud has been one for the history books. These two have been trading barbs since 2016, when then-candidate Trump proposed his infamous Muslim ban. Khan didn't mince words, calling Trump's views about Islam ignorant and suggesting they made the world less safe. Trump, never one to let a criticism slide, fired back by challenging Khan to an IQ test. Yes, really.
And I think, he's got to govern as a Prime Minister in the national interest. And that means, I'm afraid, going to the White House and spending time with Donald Trump.
But if you're a Ukrainian in London,
A real concern about how President Trump sees the United Kingdom. And that's the context of Keir Starmer's visit to the USA. And I think Keir Starmer said some time ago, country first, party second.
can you be any more assured about what Trump is going to do as a result of that visit?
That is a genuine fear Ukrainians I speak to in London have, and there are tens of thousands in London who've made this.
By 2017, with Trump now president, tensions escalated when Khan opposed Trump's state visit to the UK, saying, "I don't think we should roll out the red carpet to the President of the USA in the circumstances where his policies go against everything we stand for." Trump predictably took this personally. The spat reached its peak during Trump's 2018 UK visit, when Khan authorised that infamous 20-foot Trump baby blimp to fly over London. A giant orange infant Trump in a nappy, throwing a tantrum. Trump responded by telling the Sun newspaper that Khan had done a very bad job on terrorism and crime in London, even claiming parts of London were no-go areas and comparing the city to a war zone.
We now have a Prime Minister back on the international stage. Over the course of the last 10 days, Keir Starmer has met countless European leaders, spoken to President Zelensky almost every day.
Yeah.
A home away from their home because of Putin's illegal invasion. And today, Keir will be hosting European leaders in London, including President Zelensky. And I make this point gently. Well, I think that's the moot question.
You don't know.
I can't comment, save for what I see in the media, and save for what the.
But what's
Prime
your
Minister,
instinct?
I think.
When Trump returned in 2019, Khan went further, comparing Trump's language to the fascists of the 20th century. In a video for LUK, Khan even stated, "If I don't stand up and call out something I think is wrong, I'm actually normalising it." Fast forward to today's interview, and we're witnessing a very different Sadiq Khan. Gone is the fiery, moral outrage, replaced by the careful, measured tone of a politician trying to have it both ways. When directly asked if he would welcome Trump to London, Khan performed a verbal dance that would make Olympic gymnasts envious, saying, "Look, we've got to engage with the American president, whether we like him or not." Did you notice what he did there? He pivoted to the importance of engagement without actually saying the word welcome. Classic political evasion. When pressed further, Khan offered, "I'd be happy to show him around London, take him for a curry in Brick Lane, show him the cultural diversity." Khan's body language spoke volumes during the interview. The slight hesitation before answering, the careful choice of words, the way he shifted in his seat, all telltale signs of a politician trapped between his principles and political pragmatism. He's caught in an impossible position: maintain his moral stance against Trump and risk diplomatic backlash, or welcome Trump and alienate his progressive base. The political reality is clear. With Labour leader Keir Starmer extending an olive branch to Trump and emphasising the importance of the UK-US relationship, Khan can no longer afford to be the firebrand who authorised giant baby blimps. His carefully crafted response shows a politician attempting to navigate contradictory positions, trying to maintain his values while acknowledging political realities. What's particularly revealing is what Khan offered to show Trump about London. A curry on Brick Lane, cultural diversity, different faiths working together. These aren't random suggestions. They're a calculated response to Trump's previous characterizations of London and deliberately highlight Khan's vision of the city as multicultural and inclusive. It's Khan saying, "I'll show you the London you claimed was failing and prove you wrong." But perhaps the most telling aspect of Khan's interview was what he conspicuously left out. No mention of showing Trump London's financial district, its innovation hubs, or its historical landmarks. Nothing about London's economic power or its global significance. Khan's suggested itinerary wasn't just about showing Trump London, it was about showing Trump Khan's London, reinforcing his political identity while attempting to maintain diplomatic niceties. What Khan's recent diplomatic dodging reveals goes far beyond a single interview. Poll data shows a growing disconnect between his vision and everyday Londoners, with many feeling he doesn't adequately represent traditional British values. His carefully curated itinerary for Trump, all curry houses and cultural diversity, but suspiciously light on Britain's heritage, perfectly encapsulates this divide. This isn't merely political theatre, it's the manifestation of a fundamental question that's haunted Khan's entire mayoralty. Whose London is he actually governing? While celebrating multiculturalism is vital, Khan's apparent reluctance to embrace traditional Britishness has left many citizens feeling overlooked and unrepresented. As Trump potentially returns to the White House, Khan finds himself in an impossible position, torn between personal conviction and public responsibility. His awkward diplomatic dance exposes the contradiction at the heart of his leadership. A mayor caught between the London he envisions and the London many of his constituents actually live in.